Hi, I'm Robert Adams, Associate Professor of Architecture at Taubman College and Garrett Space Board Member. I also direct the University of Michigan Initiative on Disability Studies. This past semester, I worked with 13 amazing graduate students in architecture to design and prototype buildings and landscapes aligned with the Garrett Space residential program. I'll never forget when Scott and Julie joined our studio to talk about the Garrett Space mission. And Julie in particular was talking about how she wanted people to arrive at the site, and the first thing that they would do is simply exhale, to feel a sense of relief and discover a deeper connection with other people within the beauty of the environment and its architecture. This simple idea of exhaling really resonated with our studio, and we spent the semester developing designs that were both speculative and actionable. The opportunity for our students to work on the Garrett Space project was exceptional because they were able to place themselves directly in the narrative by designing wellness spaces for their peers, but also for themselves as young people who experience the highs and lows of life.
My name is Brian Smith. I'm a graduate research assistant at Taubman College. I got involved with Garrett Space because many young adults are suffering in silence from depression and anxiety. I believe Garrett Space will be an outlet from the pressures of life, allowing them to exhale and gain a new perspective through holistic practices. In my research, one source of anxiety in young Black adults is surveillance, creating an environment that constrains us to flatten our identity to fit within a normative white culture, to be left alone or avoid backlash. This eliminates space for us to be ourselves. I decided to create a new imaginary based on our cultures which have been rejected as primitive, using Black bliss as a driving force for healing from a collective trauma. One example is a praise house offering different expressions of worship to be fully expressed through movement, dance, rhythm, and song. Before individuals leave, the group meets there, expressing gratitude to one another to find purpose, pleasure, and bliss in each other.
My name is Xin Li, an architecture student at Taubman College, University of Michigan. Garrett Space for me is a special project. I remember the day we first met Julie and Scott. They walked into our design studio class and told us stories of Garrett and their dream of developing a space for young adults, a warm and inclusive space for young adults who are facing mental health challenges. Since then, their dream has also become my wish. With Garrett Space, I would love to have a space created for our own, that we can find connection between nature and us again, filling it with our own hands, a space that we feel safe to express our feelings and stress without any judgments, a space that we can get a chance to develop connections with each other that we have seeking for a long time. For me, Garrett Space is a lifelong project to continue exploring the ways of helping my generation and our community with my ability as a designer.
We live in very turbulent times in a society not only facing detrimental environment effects, but also social dangers caused by the rise and prominence of technology. This is especially true in younger generations who are influenced and impacted by what they see as ideal or desirable ways of living and thinking, dictated by social media. These often false or wrong notions of a happy life provoke a sense of inferiority and lack in many, seriously affecting the necessary self-esteem and appreciation for what people have in their current lives that allow them to move forward. The standards of happiness are clouded in ways they seem unattainable. This is what makes the role of Garrett Space so important for me, because it is programmed strategically so that people can have a hand to hold to, so that they can be told they matter and happiness is within their reach. Garrett Space is not an escape, but in fact a door that guides young people to return to oneself, so that they may recover the self-love they may have once lost, and learn to not lose it again. This is what Garrett Halper left in this world, and I wish to see his legacy continue and survive.
As a disabled person with muscular dystrophy and depression, I really respect the mission of Garrett Space to provide young people a support system to help navigate their mental health needs. Working with the Garrett Space Architecture Selection Committee, we are currently interviewing nationally ranked architecture firms to advance the mission to design a world-class center. I've also been helping Scott and Julie identify a beautiful site here in the Ann Arbor area that provides an ideal environment in nature to build the residential center. While there are many resources to support young people who are struggling with mental health challenges, access to these resources are often complicated by long wait times. This creates a significant gap in care. Garrett Space fills this critical gap by providing an innovative program that is accessible and equitable. The value proposition of Garrett Space is simple because the cost of doing nothing is unacceptable.